What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So in this video we're talking about some cheapies under 30. So some of you just don't want to spend more than $30 or $40 on fragrances, and you still want to smell really good, get some bang for your buck, and hey, I'm here for it. That's the foundation of this channel and my personal fragrance collection, and continues to be, because for all the wonderful fragrances I've gotten my nose on over the years, I can still appreciate a really good bang for your buck affordable cheapie. And in this video I've got 10 that I believe are must have. Now when I say must have, I don't mean you need all 10. I mean you need at least one. At least one of these should suit your taste. Everybody needs at least that one good cheapie to just spray away and don't care because you didn't spend much on it, but you're going to smell great. Well, I've got 10 options for you in this video. Stay tuned. One that just does not get any attention anymore, and you can still get it for under 30 bucks. The quality here is really good. The performance is above average, and it really scratches that itch for a great freshie that doesn't smell exactly like everything else. We are talking about Bentley For Men Azure. So yeah, you don't hear anything about this one. I reviewed this one about 4 years ago here on the channel. So there's pineapple, and I believe pimentos, the spice. It's watery, it's crisp and spicy while still being fruity. Has a nice musky tone to it, and I get about 7 hours on my skin with it, and it's pretty loud for about 2 hours. This is captivating, doesn't smell like everything else. I don't know why this doesn't still get love. Years ago, we're talking 4 or 5 years ago, it did. Doesn't anymore. Maybe it's because there's always something newer coming out and people are on to the next thing, but this is still a great fragrance from a car company brand that puts out some wonderful designer level fragrances that typically don't smell the price you can get them for. You can still get this one in the $25 to $30 range, and it's well worth it in my opinion. It's worth adding to your collection. Maybe this is that one for you. You never know, but it's worth trying out for under 30 bucks. Bentley For Men Azure. Next, I bought 4 of the fragrances in this line at the same time. It's the only one I've even worn so far because I enjoy it so much, because it's full of citruses and aldehyde, and I'm just a sucker for that kind of stuff. This is Tous Man Sport. So I have Tous Man Intense, and the newest flanker, Chill. You can see my tester has a couple dents in the cap. I bought it, came in a tester box, but that's okay. Full of aldehydes. So it gives this effervescent, soapy, watery type of tone. For those of you that don't know what aldehydes smell like, it's very fizzy and breezy and a little watery, but still quite soapy. I know that's a lot of words to describe it, but that's kind of the way it comes across. And when you mix it with a bright citrus, it makes for a fizzy, bright, almost Sprite, 7-Up kind of thing going on. Grapefruits, orange, stuff like that. It's so good. I love when a fragrance is full of aldehydes, and that's what makes me fall for this fragrance. And you can get it easily for sub $30, and it, in my opinion, is the best smelling one. I don't have all 5 fragrances. I have 4 of them, which I just rattled off all 4 that I have to you guys. And don't get me wrong, they all smell good, especially the original and Chill, the newest one, the green bottle. That smells really good as well, but this is the one. This is the one. Happy accident that I'm wearing all this blue with blue lights behind me, but blue fragrance guy, what can I say? But this smells very similar to David Beckham Instinct Sport, the orange bottle. So if you have that, it's wildly redundant. Avoid at all costs. But if you don't have that, this is a slightly better performer for just a few dollars more than a 50 ml of that, because I have both, and they're both great. And if you have David Beckham Instinct Sport, you're doing great and you don't need this. But if you don't have it, this is the superior form. So if you like aldehydes, citrus, a bright, watery, soapy type of feel with a musky, woody dry down, it's just a great sporty fragrance, as the name would indicate. This might be the one for you. Again, that's Tous Man Sport. One of the better shower gel scents that you can get a 60 ml for $18 in the link down below. And I paid like 19 bucks when I got my 60 ml a long time ago. It is Jaguar Pace. So it does have that shower gel and Broxton smell to it, but a lot of rosemary and pepper. So there's a nice green, peppery spice tone to this one that gives it some additional character. I've had people tell me recently when I brought this one up in video that it's their favorite shower gel scent, and I could see why. It's not going to win any performance awards. You guys know I like to use that descriptor. It's like a 4-hour fragrance, but it's a really good 4-hour fragrance. 18 bucks for a 60 ml just like this. Now, don't get me wrong, Pace Accelerate, its flanker, is phenomenal. But I think for the money, just go with this. Especially if you like traditional blues that are a little on the spicy side, because this is a much spicier fragrance. Think kind of like, in some ways, Sauvage Eau de Parfum, because it's still shower gel fresh like the original, but much more peppery spice. It doesn't smell exactly like that, but it's in the same vein, because there's a lot of rosemary and black pepper. Just beautiful stuff. Like I said, I'm a fan. Temper your expectations in performance, but for under 20 bucks, it's hard to go wrong if you want a clean, versatile scent that could potentially pull a couple of compliments for you. Again, that's Jaguar Pace. This is one of the most hyped cheapies of all time. I was very late to getting it. I've smelled it many times over the years, but in some ways, some people would argue it's better than Versace Mano Fresh because it smells like Versace Mano Fresh with this added cappuccino note, with a melon note. There's just a lot going on here. Again, average, below average performance, but 20 bucks for 100 ml, under 30 bucks get you a 200 ml. You can't go wrong with Antonio Banderas Blue Seduction, easily his most popular fragrance, and I'm willing to bet he sold a lot of bottles of this Blue Beast right here. Took a little bit for it to focus, but man, this is good stuff. Like I said, I've gotten it recently, but it's beautiful. This is a good fragrance. I don't care what anybody says. You can say, oh, it's too weak on me. And look, skin chemistry and anosmia, going nose blind, olfactory fatigue, that's all real things, and everybody's going to get different experiences. But it smells really good. It's really cheap. It's really hyped over the years for a reason. And if you haven't gotten around to trying it, if you frequent airports, duty frees always seem to have a tester. That's where I have smelled it many times over the years. Kohl's, department stores, places like that carry Antonio Banderas fragrances are going to have this. Because again, this is easily the most popular fragrance from the Antonio Banderas fragrance house and line as a whole. It's beautiful. It's spawned a ton of flankers that have the name Seduction in them. I don't even know if this is the first fragrance, but it's in the Seduction line. But it's the most popular for sure. That one cheapie, this could be that one cheapie for you. And it's fantastic. It's Blue Seduction from Antonio Banderas. Next is a subsidiary house to Afnan called Rue Broca. So you can get this one for under 20 bucks. It smells like Bulgari's Tigar, but it's a little more airy and watery than even Afnan's other clone of it, Tarathi Blue. That's richer and spicier, whereas this is more breezy and airy. And like I said, it's like 16, 18 bucks for Rue Broca Theoreme. This has had its fair share of hype, and this is a good fragrance. This really is. If you're in a warmer climate, this is probably better for you than Tarathi Blue. Nothing wrong with wearing Tarathi Blue in the heat, but this just does even better in the heat. It smells so good. That spiced grapefruit smell, but like I said, it's more watery and light and airy overall without sacrificing really any performance. It's 6 or 7 hours on skin for me. Sub $20 price point, I believe it's under 100 ml. I don't remember, it's 90 ml bottle. You really can't go wrong here. It's arguably a better pick for a lot of people than Tarathi Blue. Like I said, if you live in the hottest of climates, which I am in a high humidity, beach, tropical-like atmosphere now, this is a little bit better for me, personally, than Tarathi Blue. That's why we're even discussing this, because I think based on price point, Tarathi Blue might have been able to go here. I didn't double check. It might have been right outside of it in the 30 some odd dollar range, but this one definitely fits. And for the topic and for my situation, it's probably the better recommendation anyway. So if you want a more watery take on Bulgari's Tigar for under 20 bucks, check out Rue Broca Theoreme. One of the most underappreciated cheap fragrances of all time. It's basically a fresher Fahrenheit, kind of like Fahrenheit Cologne, if you will. I know that's a real flanker. I've never smelled it, but I would assume, just based on the name, it would smell like this. This is the original Mercedes-Benz, called Mercedes-Benz. This is a 4-ounce, 120 ml bottle. They show up all the time at Ross Dress for less than 25 bucks. You can still get them for under 30 bucks from discounters online. I'll have a discount link below for you guys. Citruses, violet. It has that petroleum violet feel without the leather. There's a lot more citruses here with this herbal feel and woods. And it's very musky. Very masculine, summertime fresh. More of a 3-season fragrance. Spring, summer, fall, whereas I think the Intense is the one for cooler falls and definitely winter. It's a stronger performer. I get about 6 to 7 hours easily on skin. I've actually clocked it longer than that at different times, but I've had this bottle for years. That is also a point of contention, but it gets no love. Mercedes-Benz fragrances, a lot of them get some praise in the online fragrance community. Don't get me wrong, but this one doesn't seem to get any, at least outside of myself, I don't think it really does. I actually did a re-review. I did a comparison review of the original in the Intense when I first started my channel, and then beginning of this year, end of last year, it might have been beginning of this year, I did a re-review of this, and I actually titled it The Greatest Cheap Fragrance of All Time. Now, that's subjective and a little clickbaity, if you will, but it's hard to beat for 25 bucks, guys. If you want a great signature scent for every day that has a timeless style with a fresher profile and really good performance and decent quality, check out Mercedes-Benz by Mercedes-Benz. Now, a lot of people may be expecting Nautica Voyage on this list, and if I didn't discover this next fragrance, it would be. I think this is superior to it. It smells like Nautica Voyage plus cardamom. Some of you know exactly what I'm talking about when I say that. It might even be in the thumbnail. I don't know. I didn't make the thumbnail yet. But Ellis Pure Blue. This smells like Nautica Voyage plus a vibrant, spicy, almost bubblegum-like cardamom. That's the difference here. It's watery and aquatic. It's a little musky. It's even got a little bit of that white floral tone that Nautica Voyage has that most people don't talk about for some reason. It's very distinctive. It's not just me, but oh, man, there it is. Beautiful cardamom. You can find this for $25 online. 26 bucks. $25 from the rack. So 22 to 26 online is what I saw it for. 25 bucks at the rack stores. That's where I got it. I got it at TJ Maxx. Love it. Bold Red's really good also. Another fragrance that looks just like it, but red bottle. But Pure Blue is the one. That's why we're talking about it in this video. I would strongly encourage you. It is blind buy safe in my opinion, especially if you've smelled Nautica Voyage in the past and you like it, or if you have it and you're running low on your bottle. I would suggest trying this one. It's a little bit more fresh and spicy. That's the difference. Mix cardamom into Nautica Voyage, and you can't go wrong with one of the best cheap fragrances of all time's DNA. This is Ellis Pure Blue. A personal channel favorite that can still be found for 100 ml under 30 bucks. 20 bucks will get you a 50 ml like we're about to feature here. It's very crisp, gin and tonic, spicy citrus type of smell. It is Vince Camuto Homme, in my opinion, the best Vince Camuto fragrance. Solar's really good. Eterno's good. Terra's good. They got a bunch of good ones. This one's great, in my opinion. If you like fresh, a little boozy, because it's gin. It's got a lot of gin and juniper and tonic water and citrus. Some herbal spices. A lot of woods here. Just a goodie. This is such a goodie. Average performer. Nothing crazy. 4 to 6 hours, 5-6 hours typically for me. Will grab some attention. Doesn't smell like everything, but nothing challenging. It won't make you think, at least for me, it doesn't make me think of any one specific fragrance. Like, this is kind of a lot of that, you know? Like this was. Clearly Nautica Voyage plus spice. This, kind of its own thing for the most part. Nuances of a bunch of things, I guess you could say. But this shows up at rack stores, but it's very easy to find from discounters online. Does not get out a lot of love outside of this channel. I've been talking about this channel since pretty much the first video, if not the second video. But since the very beginning of this channel, we've talked about Vince Camuto Homme, and if you haven't checked it out yet, it's time. It's time, because this easily could be that one out of these 10 that we were talking about in the intro of the video. So if you like gin and tonic smell, those type of fragrances, you might want to look into this one. It's affordable and it's fantastic. Again, that's Vince Camuto Homme. One that I can't believe didn't get more hype than it did. It came out in 2020, 2021, I think 2020. You can get it for around $20 to $21. It's funny how that worked out, 2020 or 2021. $20 or $21. Weird the way that worked out, but it's the modern take, what I believe the true modern take on a classic. It was my dad's signature scent before he passed. May God rest his soul. He was an Eternity guy from Calvin Klein, the Eau de Toilette. Well, this is Eternity Cologne. And what's so modern about this is it's full of ambroxan. The oak moss, it still has that barbershop fougere-ish feel more so than a chypre, because it is a lot of oak moss. You would think chypre. And it might even be classified as that. I don't remember. But it has a lot of aromatic fougere profile going on for it. It's really good. It's watery fresh, a little bit of citrus, but green, spicy, and aromatic. Like I said, it's the modern take. It's the classic scent profile because it does smell like Eternity. But for me, a better Eternity because I never liked Eternity Eau de Toilette. Really like the Eau de Parfum. Like a bunch of the other flankers that don't even smell like Eternity. This is one of those true flankers that actually smells like what the name of the bottle is. A fresher fragrance, basically, to the original's DNA, the namesake to the line. And it's underappreciated. Average performer, cheap, signature scent, daily wear worthy type of fragrance. Will not have that old man smell, because I know some of you that are either newer to the hobby or just passing through looking for a suggestion on a cologne. I'm even going to put colognes in the title instead of the word fragrances, because there's a certain demographic that you target with, most fragrance enthusiasts and aficionados don't really watch this type of fragrance content. Newer people to the hobby and such, or who are looking for these bargains. I mean, there are some. I've been around for years doing this. I've been liking fragrance my whole life, and I still love a good cheapie. And that's why I get so excited to talk about fragrances like this, because this is a straight up bang for your buck, underappreciated, not just under the radar, underappreciated $20 fragrance that I am more than happy every time I talk about it to shine a little light on. So check this one out. You really should. If you like Eternity, you owe it to yourself. Eternity Cologne by Calvin Klein. Last but not least, possibly the greatest tropical vacation vibe fragrance of all time, because it's $20. And I don't think they'll ever stop selling it. They sell too many bottles. I can't walk in a Nordstrom rack and not see bottles of it. I see it most of the time at Ross Dress for Less, TJ Maxx, Burlington's. I see it at all kinds of rack stores. It's rarely not available. It's Tommy Bahama set sail, St. Barts. This is an older bottle. Looks a little bit different now. The font and everything's changed. The cap's changed a little bit. But it's still that same margarita fragrance. So it's lime, it's salt with a tequila accord. What does that sound like? It's a margarita. That's what it smells like. Even has a warming quality, but it's very tropical island. Great affordable alternative to Creed Virgin Island water without smelling just like Creed Virgin Island water, because it does the same job. It makes similar accords with different notes. It's not lime and coconut and sugar and rum. It's tequila, salt, and lime. You know what I mean? Like, it switches it up because it does smell different. Tequila and lime don't smell the same. Salt and sugar, wildly different. You know what I mean? This is good stuff. This is... it's hard to say the best $20 fragrance, but when it comes to the specifics, tropical vacation, $20 fragrance, yeah, it's the greatest. I stand on that mountain. I'll stand on that hill and defend it. No problem. This is blind buy worthy. It's hard to get disappointed on a vacation fragrance for $20. Yes, it's an Eau de Cologne, but believe it or not, most of the time, because pretty much all of their fragrances are Eau de Colognes, they actually perform pretty well. I get about 5 or 6 hours out of this fragrance. I have one of their fragrances, Tommy Bahama for Men. That's another Eau de Cologne. I get like 8 hours out of that. The Maritime line, I get 4 to 6 hours out of those fragrances. So don't let the EDC concentration scare you away, because that's like under 5% oil concentration. For some reason, they stick to the skin for a little while, at least for me. And the king of the Tommy Bahama Mountain always will be, in my opinion. There will never be a better Tommy Bahama fragrance, I think. Then set sail St. Barts. You want to feel like you're on vacation, at least with the aroma? Roll with this. Well, that's the 10 that I have for you today. And until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, because I do appreciate all the feedback. And I love hearing from you guys. Of these 10, have you tried any of these? Do you have them already? Are you newer to the hobby and just checking out, like I said, just passing through and checking out some recommendations for a nice bang for your buck affordable cologne? So we got some options here. I suggest you strongly check out one of them. Again, like I said in the beginning, you don't need all 10. That's not what I mean by must have. But everybody at every level in this hobby, even if they don't look at it as a hobby and just have 1 or 2 fragrances, everybody should have that one really good cheapie that they barely spend any money on, that they just love to wear because it smells so damn good. Until next time, I will say, if you get your hands on any of these 10 and you give them a spray now, you might have found that fragrance, and you might end up thanking me later. Have a good one, guys.